says God. Jesus did not return to a disappointed, frustrated father. Father, I managed to do what you told me to do, but I only saved a few. The rest of his... My brother Leon told us the other day, he was preaching here in Gansbaai. He's back now, the following week he's back in Siberia. And at the end of last year he just came from a city called Rostov. A couple of million people. I can't remember how many million people, but a massive city in the southern parts of Russia. And Leon was involved in a meeting where all the pastors of the city were gathered. And he asked the pastors, he said to them, how many sheep are there in the city? And he gave them time to calculate, amongst themselves. And they came back with a report. They said not even 1% of the city. What did they count? Their congregants. Not even 1% of the city. And so my brother Leon said, but I disagree with you. I believe 100% of the city are sheep of the shepherd. Because we all have gone astray. Like sheep. We all have gone astray. How did we go astray? By forgetting what manner of man we are. By forgetting the rock that begot us. Deuteronomy 32:18. We forgot our reference. And what happened? We went astray. We began to follow an inferior reference to our being. Benjamin, my father. Jonah, my father. Dutwa, or whatever my surname might possibly be, linking me to my heritage, my lineage. Gone astray. And then Leon said, and this is so powerful, he said, if Jesus in Luke 15 explains the heart of God towards the sinner, the heart of God towards the sinner in 3 parables, and the first parable speaks of 99% sheep in the fold, but 1% astray. He says, they will sit here as Christians and we can't wait for the second coming. Let's just come and grab this 1% and woo, God's going to have a big array in heaven. 90%, 99% of the city of Rostov without hope, without God. The urgency of the shepherd to go after the one.
Yes.
Imagine the urgency of the shepherd to go after the 99%. And even if the 1% in the crowd is a little bit confused. Because when we see that he didn't come to just block us into little fences, little denominations. I'm of Paul, I'm of Peter, I'm of Cephas, and here we've identified ourselves under our labels, conveniently so. But he's come to express to the world the reality of the risen Christ. Risen in us. His voice. His body. His body. Many of us are Facebook friends. But isn't it amazing this weekend that there's just a different dimension to our Facebook friendship? This electronics could never match the real thing. There's no high definition camera that can match the real you. I was translating in the book of Hebrews yesterday, Hebrews chapter 10, and Paul uses that word. He says how the shadow of the Old Testament was just like a very faint outline, like a chalk. You just draw this picture of this building that you want to build. How could you get the picture to replace the building? It's like you have this wonderful photograph of your wife. How many megapixels do you need in that photograph to match her? People are talking the substance of God in His body. We're not here to win arguments for this doctrine or against that doctrine. We're here to be embraced by Him, to be known of Him, to realize that His delight is in us. I'm telling you, God can't wait for you to wake up in the morning. To spend another glorious day of friendship, koinonia, commune with you. preach an inferior doctrine. We kind of engage in all kinds of stuff that we think school because he's gracious. Of course he's gracious, but don't get stuck in the wilderness.
Yeah.
And it's Canaan. And it's not geographic. It's Christ. It's Christ. It's Him. Embraced in Him. He's the all in all. From Him, through Him, and unto Him are all things. Already you are. Already you are, declares Paul. Already you are rich.
Hallelujah.
Without us you've become kings. Wasn't even Paul's teaching. Brought royalty to us. We come from above. There's a lineage beyond the flesh. You're born from above. You began in God. He is your origin. We are indeed His offspring. Again, Paul quotes a Greek philosopher in Acts 17, when he says, in Him we live and move and have our being. We're indeed not our geographic identity, our cultural identity. Zambian, Malawian, South Africa, whatever we could reduce ourselves to, supersede it. By the revelation that we come from above. Of God are we. Leon said something so beautiful to me last weekend. We were ministering Jeffreys Bay. Scripture in Ephesians 4, verse 8. For by grace you are. Full stop. Saved by His faith.
Yes. Yeah.
But by grace you are. By grace you are. Sometimes people want to feel proud that at least, you know, that when I was still my mother, you know, when my parents conceived me, at least the little sperm that formed me beat all the other millions of sperms. So there's no glory in the flesh.
Yes.
So if you feel proud about that, discover something true.
Yeah.
There's no virtue in you, in any other reality, than the reality that you're born from above.
Yes.
Redeemed in Him. God's desire is to have ambassadors for this message. Can read it. 2 Corinthians 5. We are ambassadors. Gesandte van God. God pleading. Can you see the urgency? God pleading with an already redeemed, reconciled world. It doesn't say become reconciled, it says be ye reconciled.
Yes.
Be ye reconciled. Be ye reconciled. It's the mirror.
Yeah.
It's not the eagle soaring and saying,